Alright, so starting out on map number 1 today for our first semi-final in Finnbar's finest tournament. So we've got HappySmurf today as our blue, and he will love this, the fact that he is blue and he can be playing on 1 all day today. It's HappySmurf as our Greek player on the bottom side of the map, and spawning on the top side of the map as the red Babylonian player, we've got Samajestay, and he's shifting onto this second hunt now. Got the 4 workers and the ox cart. He's probably going to go for a barracks. Oh, what's he doing? Cancelling the house. Gonna go for the barracks. So he does have the wood for that. So bit of a misplay there, but cleaning himself up before it got too out of proportion. I mean, too out of control. Where spending resources building the house, wouldn't have been able to get the barracks. So he's got the barracks underway. He actually got the second village there. To get it out as quickly as possible, it's going to finish up quite a bit quicker than this Greek barracks from HappySmurf, who's got 1 villager on that. So the build times are normally the same, but obviously that second villager making all the difference and being a little bit faster as well. When he started at HappySmurf, now going up to 2 villagers as well. So he's not going to be able to catch up, but he's going to be able to close the gap a little bit. And both of them scouting out and skipping clearing this second hunt. Instead, HappySmurf's actually found a second. And Samajestay, yeah, they both cleared 2 and then skipped clearing the next 2. And going for a bit more of an aggressive scout. So Samajestay going to be a bit quicker on his. He's just making sure there's no spearmen up that side. And if the hunter's over there, but it's not, so he's going to have to try and find the hunt. HappySmurf actually going to be able to catch the spearman as it comes in here. Oh, I don't know if he's seen that. He does have a spearman here ready to defend, but the Babylonian spears are finishing up just a little bit faster at the moment. 12 seconds versus 12 seconds of the train times, but the quicker barracks has proved to be all the difference so far. So HappySmurf not actually producing a villager or a spearman, so he needs to actually get more villagers onto his hunt there, because he's actually not making any. He's falling behind Samajestay already in terms of the production, so he's already down a villager. It's 13 to 11 as the score, but there is the 2 ox carts. Okay, so actually he is down half a villager to Samajestay. No, villager and a half. Yeah, so he's got 2 ox carts, up by 3 and a half. And this is not a favourable trade for the Greek player. They do have slightly weaker spears. 20 health difference. Same damage, but 20 health difference. So they're both 60 cost units, so both the expensive spearmen in the game, but Samajestay has that little bit of a health advantage and the unit count advantage, so he is able to take a good fight here, and he is getting these 3 spearmen off HappySmurf for 0 now at the moment, so that's a big lead already. He's pushed HappySmurf off the hunt, so he's already well up in terms of his economy at the moment. HappySmurf not actually producing anything at this point. 14 villagers to 17. And he's trying to take the fight, but it's just not going as planned. He's got so many villagers on the wood. He's actually got set up on the second hunt, so that's good for him. But he's not producing anything out of his town centre or his barracks, so that's going to be a bit costly for him. He's getting the gold he needs, but he's going to need to get more wood somehow. Sending these villagers just to go over on this hunt, but he really needs to get some stone now too, because he needs to get that second town centre up behind all this. He is going to get a couple of spearmen for his troubles, but he is going to lose his scout now. He's down to only 1 spearman to defend versus 4 here on the attack, and there is a ziggurat on the way from the Babylonian player. Another spearman going down, and this should be easy for HappySmurf to clean up now, but oh, Samajestay is going to get another. Oh, he didn't actually go for the lower health villagers, so he might not actually get. Oh, he is going to get it. But the spearmen are actually running away as well, so that's not good for HappySmurf, because it's not damaged, there's no snaring, so Samajestay does get another 2 villagers for his trouble in the end. 13 villagers to 20, so things looking a bit drastic for HappySmurf, because Samajestay, he'd be on 2 ox carts, so he's still down by 13 to 25 villagers. Not looking good at this stage. He's down on getting the age up out. Samajestay already getting handsaw on the way. Single spear overstepping the mark a little bit. This fella not going to be able to do anything other than get these guys to chase him for a little bit longer. But Samajestay getting ready with the stables, so the Greek player now on the back foot has to get the spearman out to defeat whatever's coming out of that stables. Has to defeat the lancers coming out of that stables, but he also has to try and play the game economically to try and get to age 3, so he's got some proper counters to the Babylonian arsenal. Samajestay splitting his villages up now. Don't know why he hasn't... Oh, he has already got the stone. He's just got to get the wood. So it's pretty smart of him to do things that way. Now he can focus on purely wood for the next couple of minutes. And focus on getting the wood for the town centre for a couple of stables. And make like hell for the Greek player, who has to have well-positioned spearmen. Getting the high pass burst is probably not so advisable against the Babylonian, because they're probably going to completely cut spearman production in favour of lancers. And if they don't, you only really need a couple of high pass bursts in the mix, and the imperative is on stopping the lancers. He's got spears that are useful and that will outtrade your spears, yes, but if you've got more spears left because you've cleaned up all those lancers well, then you can take the fight against your spears anyway. The hypers, they're a nice bonus, but you can get the same benefit out of going for your range. Get range out of doing so, or even just get straight on the stables and get your saris and try and harass your opponent too, and try and have to force him to use the spears defensively himself, just like he's having to do to you. So town centre going up, the 2 gardens going up for the Babylonian player. Greek player again, no production, so that's going to hurt Happy because he's only on 18 villages. 28 now for Samajestay, so HappySmurf back on the villager production. Nothing coming out of the barracks at the moment though. You could probably get conditioning and just keep pumping out spearmen and get... Yeah, he is getting the stables, so he can do some harass of his own. But Samajestay going up to a second stable, so HappySmurf is going to have to keep responding with spears. Keep an eye out for your opponent's stables and count, because if they go purely with stables from here on out, you're going to need both barracks to defend in age 2 and your own stables for age 3 when you want to get your prodromos out and use your saris against his mounted archers when he goes to those. So these spears might actually be able to do a little bit of damage here. I'm going to come in here on this villager, but he does get garrisoned. Another little idle force there by HappySmurf. So a little bit of value out of this, but he is going to lose 3 spearmen for this, so I don't know if it's going to really be worth it. But it does keep Samajestay a little bit busy. At the same time, HappySmurf has kept up production behind this, so that's been good for him. Samajestay forced off that berries, but he's going to go straight back on it. Does have all these idle villagers up here though, so HappySmurf putting the pressure on, and it is paying a bit of value because there is some slip-ups here in Samajestay's eco as well. A range coming out now, so the saris are going to be useful against those, as well as we're trying to get off your own quick harass, because there is a big bunch of lancers now coming in to Happy's base. He's got all these spearmen up on the front side, but he doesn't really have much around the back side of his base, so he's not going to be able to respond to this as quickly as he could. Samajestay, going to be able to interrupt this. Oh, that gets denied because there is actually a tree there that HappySmurf didn't see at first. And these 2 saris going to be able to do a little bit of damage, but they're going to need a bit of backup from all the spearmen, because they're not going to be able to hold their own against this many lancers. They're a good unit, but they're not that good. And the lancers just have a little bit more damage, the same amount of health, or a little bit more health as well. And they're a little bit more expensive of a unit, I think at 10 resources more. With the saris, they do get that nice range, but you need to be able to keep them alive long enough to be able to get enough to actually burst down your targets. So a couple of low lancers being microed out there, so good control there from Samajestay, but HappySmurf pulling everything through to try and pick off a couple of targets. He's going to get some lancers, but does he have enough infantry to defend this? I don't know if he does. So Samajestay pushing straight through HappySmurf's little infantry force there, and GG. HappySmurf taps out for game number 1. He said, GG, horrible start. But well, next game, he can go much better, I'm sure. Alright, so that's game number 1. Final village account. It's 24 to 45.